So, Mr. Trump's favorite lawyer and one of the newest leaders of the QAnon movement, Lin Wood, has gone completely off the rails. Not only has he thrown out some completely insane theories about Chief Justice John Roberts, but he's also being exposed by some of his former legal partners for some interesting behavior. Let's get into it. So, lawyer Lin Wood, who's been no stranger to controversy ever since the November 3rd election, decided to try and ratchet it up even more than it already was. I didn't know it could get any crazier, but apparently it can. He decided to ratchet it up another notch yesterday when he accused Chief Justice John Roberts of a murder plot and pedophilia in a series of tweets. This is what he had to say. So we'll start off with this gem right here. He says, "My information from reliable sources," which I would really like to know who these reliable sources are, "is that Roberts arranged an illegal adoption of 2 young children from Wales through Jeffrey Epstein. I think we can all agree that Epstein knows pedophilia, and if only Jeffrey Epstein was still alive, ... wouldn't that be something?" He's actually one of those guys that, pushes the Epstein is still alive, all that jazz. He's way the fuck out there. A couple more questions for Chief Justice John Roberts. "You are recorded discussing Justice Scalia's successor before the date of his sudden death. How did you know Scalia was going to die?" Okay, well, even if he was, for some reason, on tape, which he's most likely not because you didn't provide any evidence for these outrageous claims that you made, but even if he was, Justice Scalia was about 70 years old, and I think he was talking about retiring, so discussing who would be his successor, I don't think is some kind of grand plot murder scheme. It might just be, him talking about who he thinks should be his successor. I think you're reading a little bit too much into that. But hey, who am I to judge? "Are you a member of any club or cabal requiring minor children as initiation fee?" Yeah, because that's, how just with no evidence, you just throw that kind of shit out there. I really don't know where this is coming from, if he's just trying to grab headlines or what. If he had a bombshell like that, you think he would have maybe released it instead of just tweeted about it. I think he just wants a defamation suit, I guess. A bit more on Chief Justice Roberts. "I have publicly accused him and Justice Breyer of being profane anti-Trumpers. And I love that these people have watered down claims of murder and pedophilia so much that in their minds, it's on the same level as being anti-Trump, being anti a political candidate. Hey man, if you can prove the other two, we don't even care about the third one. Whether they're anti-Trump, anti-Biden, anti-Bernie, anti-whatever. If you can prove the first 2 claims you made, we're with you, okay? Take this guy down. He needs to be impeached or whatever. I think it's so funny that they equate being oh yeah, this guy's a pedophile, a murderer, and he won't believe what else he is. An anti-Trumper. It's so crazy in their minds that they put it on that level. "I have linked Roberts to illegal adoption, Jeffrey Epstein, pedophilia, and prior knowledge of Scalia's death. Did Roberts skip class on defamation? Maybe not, ... I'm not sure what he's talking about there because as far as I know, Roberts hasn't talked about this at all or even, brought it up, or there's been no talk of defamation suits. I clearly could see where he could maybe sue him for defamation, but he hasn't said anything about it. "I am fully aware of the onslaught of attacks being made against me based on my revelations about Chief Justice John Roberts. Before attacking me, maybe fair-minded people would first ask Roberts to tell the truth, or ask Jeffrey Epstein. He is alive." You got to get one last crackpot theory in there, and man, but the craziest thing about it is look at the amount of retweets and quote tweets and likes. It just, that was at, oh no, that one was at 2:30. One of them was at 2 a.m. These were random throughout the day. But yeah, look at this one. 56,000 likes, 21,000 retweets, this guy's getting tons and tons of coverage on this just outlandish theories. And of course, this was cheered on all over social media by the Anons, which, even though it's clearly insane, it actually brings up a good point that ever since Q really has dropped off the face of the earth because he doesn't really post anymore, It's kind of opened up a doorway for these people like Lin Wood and Sidney Powell to take charge and kind of take the lead, and which is a very scary thing because QAnon is huge at this point, and they don't need people, in real life people like Lin Wood and Sidney Powell with that big of a voice. A guy on Twitter, Mark Andre Argentino, which if you don't follow him, you definitely should, had an interesting thought about it. In the absence of Q and the Q drops to guide the community, Lin Wood and Sidney Powell have stepped in to become prophetic voices and guiding figures to QAnon. Their adherence to QAnon, combined with their willingness to push the QAnon agenda in real life, has skyrocketed them in a concerning way. And of course, I totally agree with that entire statement. Who knows what kind of path they'll go down with a leader like Lin Wood. And thanks to a lawsuit from his former colleagues, we are now finding out that Lin Wood kinda has a bit of a god complex. According to the lawsuit filed by several of Lin's former law partners, he said he was the second coming of Christ, and he also had a habit of associating himself with God Almighty. And Wood randomly attacked two of his associates physically for apparently no reason, and is on tape apologizing for this. And cherry on top, like all conspiracy theorists, when you dig deep, he's not very fond of the Jews. But besides all that, there might actually be a little bit of good news report on the Lin Wood front. A Delaware judge found that he may have violated professional rules of conduct in Wisconsin and Georgia, including by filing a lawsuit without the plaintiff's authorization, submitting a false affidavit, and making a series of errors that could verge upon incompetence. Wood, of course, denies the allegations and is looking to fight them. Sadly, despite how clear the grift is with Lin Wood, he's gaining more and more of a following every single day. Because honestly, that's just kind of what the Republican Party has turned into. They only care about owning the libs and pushing these wild conspiracy theories. People starving, all that stuff, getting kicked out, not a big deal. Just make sure you own the libs, and we push the QAnon stuff, and you're golden. And that's just really what the party's turned into, and that's the stuff we need to push back on every single day, and that's what I'm going to continue to do on this channel as I move forward. So hey, if you like my videos, make sure you leave a like, comment. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications, otherwise you're not going to know when I upload a video. All my social medias are down in the description if you want to follow me on Twitter. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok. Anybody that has been a subscriber of mine, you're wondering where the hell I've been the last week. I've been out sick as a dog with COVID. Finally felt better yesterday. Decided to start making a video. But yeah, I'm going to be doing more stuff like this, more shorter 5-10 minute videos about, news of the day, stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoy this format. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'm also going to be still be doing live stream and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Thanks for watching, and peace.